Hi class, my name is Christina and I'm going to be doing my presentation today based off of my employment. I'm not currently in a field placement. I'll start my next one in January, so I'm completing this project, like I said, based off of my employment. Currently, I am an addiction therapist and I work in an adult outpatient clinic. I have been in this position for about 6 months now, and it is a change from my past position, which was an adolescent inpatient residential counselor. So overall, I've been with my agency for 2 years, and that obviously leaves me susceptible to some biases. So if you notice anything, by all means, draw it to my attention in the comment section. I have done some work in writing the paper portion of this project and preparing myself for this, so hopefully I'm leaving those biases out and just being able to present you with some changes that I would like to see happen, not only in my agency but across the whole field of chemical dependency. Furthermore, another just quick disclaimer, I'm home right now and I have 2 cats that just love to be involved in any aspect of my homework, so if they prance across the screen, I apologize. I'll try and get them out of here as quick as possible without causing any kind of disruption. So the change that I would like to implement into the agency that I work for is not only going to affect me as an outpatient clinician, or excuse me, counselor, but it will also impact the inpatient program and insurance agencies. So the problem that's being presented is the fact that when working in an outpatient program, and you have a client who's struggling, and it's clear that they need inpatient programming to help jumpstart their recovery, there is quite the referral process involved. For my agency specifically, we have an outpatient program that's across 3 different sites, and then we have one inpatient program that is actually attached to the building that my outpatient clinic is in. So what we do when we're doing a referral from within our agency is we just send really a quick email. There's some information that needs to be involved in that email as far as their use, their history, what they're using, how much they're using, how often they're using, those simple kind of facts that come with a referral to an inpatient clinic. And then furthermore, the inpatient admissions counselor will go through their chart and collect any other information that she needs, that she thinks the insurance company might need. So that's for our clinic. For anything outside of our clinic, so any of the other inpatient programs in the Rochester area, or any of the inpatient programs outside of Rochester that we want to refer our clients to, each have their very own admissions referral form. So that means that we could potentially be filling out 3 or more referral forms every time that we are trying to send a patient to inpatient. So on top of those referral forms, we also need releases of information for every single one of those places. So you can see how this paperwork can pile up. This can be a very tedious process for a counselor. This can also be a very overwhelming process for a client who's struggling with addiction. They could come in and yes, the counselor could fill out a majority of the information for them. However, there's a lot of questions that we have to ask and a lot of information that we have to provide. And that could be time consuming, and that could cause a lot of emotions for the client who is providing all this information. Then we need about 100 signatures. Every referral form will need a signature by the client. Every release of information is going to need a signature by a client. And that's just the referral process. So something that I would like to change is coming up with a universal referral form. Something that can be used across the state, if I can dream really big, across the country, a form that can be used for any inpatient program. So we are not filling out multiple forms. We are going to fill out one. It is going to be very thorough, and it is going to suffice any information that any program could need. This form is also going to be accepted by all insurance agencies. Therefore, we fill out this form, we can send it to every single inpatient program, and they can submit it to any insurance agency that the client may have, and that form will be accepted as proof that this person may need an inpatient referral. One of the things that really frustrates me is once we get past the referral portion and the paperwork is submitted to the insurance company has 7 business days to return an answer on whether or not they will extend coverage so that this client can receive inpatient programming. So that means if I submit the form, they have I submit the form to inpatient. Inpatient then submits it to the insurance company. The insurance company has 7 days from that time to come up with an answer. So a few days may have already passed from the time that I complete the paperwork with my client before it even goes to the insurance company. And then the insurance company has that 7 days to come up with an answer. However, across those 7 days, they also have any opportunity to send the referral form back and ask for more information. Or they could call the inpatient program and say, hey, I just want to seek clarification on this. The inpatient program is most likely not going to have the answer that the insurance agency needs. Therefore, inpatient is going to have to turn around and contact the outpatient counselor, myself, find that information, turn around and call the insurance company back. So as you can imagine, this becomes very time consuming. With as busy as all of those entities are, it's hard to get us on the phone. It's hard to get an answer right away. So this is something that having a universal form, being as extensive as it is or will be, will have all of those answers available. So we are eliminating the return phone calls that we're going to get from the insurance agency. We're eliminating the callback and requests for more information or requests for clarification because it's all going to be there. My hope is that with this universal form, we will also be able to cut down that 7-day time frame. If we can make it a 5-day time frame, or like really hoping for big things, a 3-day time frame, that would do amazing things. So when you think about chemical dependency, whether it's a field that you've worked in before, whether addiction has touched your family, or you've simply watched the news, we know that there is an epidemic in our communities right now. There is so much happening out on our streets, and it's stuff that we are not capable of handling right now. And as hard as that is as a counselor to admit, but what we have to offer in our outpatient clinic is not conducive to the drugs that are on our streets right now. Sorry, cat. So like I said, it's not conducive to the drugs that are on our streets right now. We are not able to handle what is coming through our front doors, and we need to be able to go to the next step, and we need to be able to refer our clients to inpatient so that they can get that care that they need, because there are people dying every day on the streets due to their heroin use, and that's not okay. That we are then giving them 7 or more days before we have an answer on whether or not they can be approved for inpatient, let alone an open bed for them to move into. So having this universal form, like I said, is going to reduce that time frame. It's going to give us an answer faster, and it's going to make the process faster. So on this form, what we're looking at is not only their generic information, name, date of birth, origin, history, all of that stuff. We want to know their chemical dependency diagnoses. What have they been diagnosed with? But furthermore, what are they currently using? Because what they have a history of isn't going to give us an immediate picture of what's going on. We can have a client that has an opiate diagnosis, but is also using cocaine or benzos. And those are things that need to be addressed, because when you start mixing substances, the risk of taking someone's life gets higher. So, again, what are their current drug use? List everything and being so very specific. Opiates, are they using heroin? Are they using pills? How are they taking this medication or this substance, excuse me? Are they taking it orally? Are they snorting it? Are they smoking it? Are they shooting up? What form are they putting the substance into their body? Furthermore, how much are they using and how often are they using it? This is a really big sign for us on just how far their addiction has come and how much their life is at risk by the substances that they're using, they're mixing them, and how often they're using it. Moving on past that, we want to know, how is their use affecting their daily living? Are they getting up in the morning and using before they even get out of bed? Are they under the influence when they're caring for their children? Are they driving to work under the influence? Are they using while on their lunch break? This can give us a really good screenshot on how much their addiction is influencing their daily life. Then we'll move on to the mental health aspect. Co-occurring disorders is very prevalent, and we want to make sure that we are addressing all aspects of their health care. So, what are their mental health diagnoses? Are they prescribed medication? Do they take this medication consistently as prescribed? And what is being implemented to care for their mental health right now? Are they seeing a therapist every week? Are they seeing a therapist once a month? If this is something where they're seeing a mental health counselor on a regular basis, we want to make sure that we are addressing those mental health concerns while they're at inpatient. So perhaps one inpatient program is going to be more beneficial over another inpatient program. Then moving on past mental health, we want to know about any legal circumstances. Are they on parole, probation? Do they have an active CPS case? What are any of their past charges and what are any of their active charges? Knowing whether or not they're a sex offender or have past arson or, destruction of property charges would be important for an inpatient program to know, because they're going to want to be able to keep an eye out for that. And then any medical stuff that's going on. So do they have diabetes? Do they have high blood pressure? Just ensuring that wherever they end up for their inpatient program is ready to accept them and to care for them in every aspect necessary. So addressing all of those things. We have the chemical dependency piece of it, mental health, how this is impacting their daily living, any legal circumstances, and any other medical aspects that we need to ensure that we can care for. This can then be forwarded on to all the inpatient programs, and the inpatient program can overview their client and look at what they're bringing to the table, and they can decide whether or not they're an appropriate inpatient program to address all of these things. Then the form gets forwarded on to the insurance agency. The insurance agency has every piece of information that would be imaginable. I believe that I've covered everything that I've ever been asked by an inpatient program, but I'm sure there's probably other questions out there. So maybe you guys could help complete this form and add any additional areas that you think need to be addressed. So the hope would then be it would go to the insurance agency, and the insurance agency would have all of the information in front of them that they need to make an informed decision. And this would eliminate the need for them to send the form back to us or to call us with additional questions. They would have everything that they need in front of them to make that informed decision. And the hope is that they would make it in less than 7 days. And maybe perhaps, like I had said, we can get that time frame shortened. Because they would have all the information, they wouldn't have to do this runaround of finding more information. They could give us this answer faster. Once we have that answer, the inpatient programs can say, all right, insurance approved, a 14-day stay, your client can come on this day. And having that bed date available for my client in the most expedited process available could save that client's life. This is cutting days off the process. This is cutting days of use. And this is getting them into a safe, healthy, and sober environment for them to start or restart their path to recovery. So, by implementing these changes, we have not only collaborated between outpatient, inpatient, and the insurance agencies. By increasing this collaboration, not only is it making it easier on all of those entities, it's making it easier on our client, and that is our main goal. Furthermore, we are increasing safety for our clients. This is cutting down on the days that they're out on the streets using. This is cutting down on the time that they have to ponder whether or not they truly want to go to inpatient. Anyone who's worked in the field knows that one day they can come in and say, I'm ready, my bags are packed, and they could come back the next day and be like, I don't really think I want to do this. Let's give outpatient another try. So giving them possibly 7 or more days to sit at home and use and think about this could change their mind on whether or not they feel like they're prepared to go to inpatient. So again, cutting down on that time frame would be huge for our clients. Having that bed date faster is going to get them, like I said, into a safe and sober environment faster. So these are all of the things that I believe having a universal form could implement. And I'm sure there's many more things that having this form could do to support our clients, support the outpatient counselors, the inpatient counselors, make everyone's life a little bit easier when it comes to completing this process. So my hope is that you guys have learned something from this presentation, maybe got your mind thinking a little bit. I am absolutely open to suggestion and anything else that you guys can think of that maybe I've forgotten or I've overlooked. Even questions that you have that might remind me that I missed something. I'm definitely open to feedback because this is something that I'm very passionate about. This is something that I would love to see implemented and happen, whether it's myself that makes the changes or whether it's someone else who can get this underway. This is something that can save lives, and that's huge in the chemical dependency field because we're losing people in our communities at astronomical rates, and that's not okay. It's not okay that no one is doing anything about it either. So, like I said, by implementing these changes, we're hoping that we'll reduce these deaths, and we're hoping that we're going to save more lives. And yes, this could mean that our inpatient programs are full faster and that they don't have beds available right away. But maybe if we're able to show that the need is out there, that maybe we can get more funding for more beds and more inpatient programs because we know that the clientele is out there. We can see the stats, we can see the news reports. We know that there are people out on the street using drugs every day, and those people need our help. And having help available is huge. So like I said, I am open to feedback. I appreciate your time and attention. And any questions or comments, please share them with me. I would love to hear everyone's feedback. Thank you.